It is based completely on conversations that we have had with people living with dementia in Doncaster, as well as people who care for those with dementia, as well as health professionals such as consultants and nurses and support workers as well. So there are 7 short scenes, but we're going to stop in between each one, so it's not going to carry on all the way through. We're going to stop and we're going to have a bit of a chat and maybe ask you to do some things in between the scenes as well.
Dementia is a huge issue in today's society. It's estimated there's about 800,000 people living with dementia in the UK, and that figure is set to grow massively in the years ahead. Virtually everyone in society's had some relationship with dementia, whether it's a relative that's been affected, that's living with dementia, or a grandparent, or they're a carer. There's a great need for people to understand dementia better and to be able to support each other. What we know is that the more people can be independent, and the more people can do things for themselves, the more normal lives they can lead, then the better that is for them, the better that is for society as a whole.
I think the first thing is that Doncaster recognised that dementia was a priority. From that point on, we had a number of objectives, but they came out of the National Dementia Strategy, and there were 3 key themes. One was to raise awareness and reduce stigma. One was to improve diagnosis, and the second one was to help people live well with dementia. What our citizens were telling us, those people with dementia living in Doncaster and their carers were telling us, in their opinion, there seemed to be very little understanding of dementia. And that understanding was evident across GPs, doctors, but more so the general public, and that's where stigma comes in. And people with dementia were telling us that their experiences were very, very negative. So our job was to try and raise that understanding of dementia so their experiences were better. So this piece of work that we commissioned through DARTS was to address the first theme, which was about raising awareness, improving understanding and reducing stigma.
The idea behind Unlocking Dementia came originally from Doncaster Council and Doncaster Clinical Commissioning Group, who wanted to create something which would raise awareness of dementia across Doncaster, but doing it in a more innovative, lively, interesting way. We were commissioned to create an interactive theatre piece full of different scenes that people might find themselves in, which explained a little bit more about dementia and some of the issues, the difficulties, but also some of the opportunities that were out there. It's been a really interesting process for us as actors and facilitators to take real people's stories and to be able to present them in a way that feels real for the audience and has enough in them to get an audience thinking and identifying and prompting suggestions. And we've been very aware of inviting carers and people who work with people with dementia to come in and watch the scenes as we were rehearsing to check that they were spot on, to check that they made sense and they felt real.
When I saw the performance for the first time, I did actually see rehearsals where it was becoming to be polished. It was getting at the polished stage, it wasn't at the rough stage. I found the first time or two quite emotional because even though I knew it's seeing somebody else seeing it and discussing it and talking about it and performing it and seeing it in a way through another person's eyes. It was interesting to see as well, and to see people's reactions to some of the things that I had talked about, that I dealt with and I'd had to work round and live with every day. The strange thing like shaving with a potato peeler, or filling pockets with spoons or washers, and finding money and putting underpants on heads and not understanding why it didn't work.
So that piece itself is made up of about 8 different scenes. Some are based on the relationships and the changing relationship with somebody who has dementia. Others are based very much in real practical situations that people find themselves, such as out and about shopping. And after each scene we stop and we talk to the audience and get their response and ask them questions and get them to think a little bit about what could you do to make things a little bit easier for somebody with dementia, what could you change in your job, what could you do at home when you're out and about, and then we present information at the end that people can take away with them to find out more.
I think it was very clever in the way that it interwove the stories of the characters, engaging the audience and shifting in time and place and the roles of the different people, and that enabled it to be, I suppose, become more engaging because it wasn't just a straightforward communication between two people. And I think possibly as a result of that, it maybe just helped convey how complicated dementia can be, and how complicated it can be for those people who have dementia, and how potentially confusing it can be for relatives and carers, trying to understand what the disease is and how the disease affects people and how you help people with the disease, because it's not black and white.
So after seeing the play Unlocking Dementia, I spoke to Darts about some possible partnership working. So I already worked with Doncaster Council through the assistive technologies. So some of the benefits with us being involved in the play was from a signposting perspective as well, because we pride ourselves in our dementia-friendly technologies, and we want to support as many people as we can to live well with dementia and to live as independently as possible. So Lucy often at the end of each session can facilitate signposting, so actually it might be that this person needs to talk to the Alzheimer's Society, or actually this person might benefit from technology, so we can point them in that direction. So I think the signposting at the end is crucial, because it's not just Darts are not just opening up an issue and walking away from it like so many other performances. They're actually opening up an issue and offering a solution or an intervention.
I think we've got a lot of experience in Doncaster, and particularly as a dementia team, and there's many ways to tell a story. And we try to think of innovative ways to tell that dementia story. So we can produce a strategy, and we can write books and leaflets, and we can do PowerPoint presentations, etc., etc. But that can only work to a certain audience. We have to appeal to different types of audience. And if you take the premise that, you need to sow a thought to reap an attitude, you need to sow an attitude to reap a behaviour, sow a behaviour to reap a habit for culture. We wanted to change people's minds through their hearts.
It's been received extremely well. One of the key things that people like about it is, even though the performance itself lasts an hour, because we're stopping and starting in between each scenes, it's very interactive. You're prompting people to think about themselves, their own situation, what they could do to change the situation for others to make it better. People have said they've learned more than in a traditional awareness raising session about dementia. It's prompted people to then invite other people to the performances, or for them to go on to become dementia friends or dementia champions themselves. And that response has been positive from right the way from young school children who are maybe sort of 9, 10, right the way up to sort of community members who might be 80, 85 years old.
Another good thing about the evaluation is that it highlighted where we could improve and what the next steps, what the learning was. And I think that's a good thing about Darts. We don't just sit and say, oh, we've done something and done it well. What can we do better next time? And I think that's why we've tried to work with them again and improve. So although there's a lot of good stuff in that delivery, there's lessons to be learned so we can improve for the next time. And that's what we're going to do next year, I think.
The more people who understand what dementia is and who dementia affects and how it affects people, the better they can work with people. One of the key aspects of dementia care is that there isn't any, there's no rocket science to it. It's quite basic. It's being sensitive. It's listening to people. It's paying attention to what people say. It's being caring. It's looking out for other people. So that they're all basic aspects of humanity. So really, although this is targeted to help people understand and learn about dementia, it's really it's a gateway for society to be able to understand and support each other. So someone who's dementia friendly is really just person friendly. So it's got benefits for everyone, no matter where they are or where they're placed in society.